Hello, movie lovers, and welcome to our little trailer review of Suicide Squad. That's right, the Jared Leto Ben Affleck controversy is right here, right now, for you to actually watch, and probably even to hate us even more for even liking the trailer. So, without further ado, this is Roberto, and he's from his little movie channel, and we're gonna actually talk about the Suicide trailer. So here we go.
All right,
So.
let's do it.
So I'm gonna break this thing down, and then after that, what I'll do is I'll go on ahead and let you pinpoint everything that you liked about it, and then if there's any negatives, we'll talk about the negatives as well.
Yeah, we'll just talk about it as we go, and just kind of hit different things about it as we go. But go ahead.
So the first thing I love about this thing is how this thing is playing Bohemian Rhapsody, the Queen song, the one song that I love from Wayne's World. And at first you're like, okay, what's going on over here? You're thinking, okay, so this is new. They actually show Will Smith being beaten up as the slow tone of the music is going, and then all of a sudden he winds up getting hit really hard, and you're actually feeling his emotion about wanting to be out of prison, which is the same thing as Bohemian Rhapsody, because that guy killed somebody, and therefore you're feeling all the emotions of the villains and everything else. And this is also another thing too that I really like about this is it shows the fun factor of being a villain. It actually shows the villains being pumped up and through the perspective of the villains rather than the heroes. And this is something totally different than anything that's ever been done before. That's right, Sony, you got kicked in the butt for this because you thought of this way before DC even thought of this. And guess what? They ended up punching you right in the face and said, here's our villains movie. You got hacked. This is your fault for letting this thing happen. Then
I don't think it would have been nearly as fun though as Sinister Six.
No, it wouldn't have been fun.
Because look at Amazing Spider-Man. The movies were going for a specific tone. It was going to be dark. They wanted to copy Dark Knight, obviously, and it would have never been as fun. What I saw, like the first thought of the trailer, as soon as the song came on, and I didn't know what the song was because I don't listen to Queen, but I do now. Was and I don't mean this negatively. It was like Guardians of the Galaxy, and the same feeling I got with Guardians of the Galaxy, which was awesome because it's like, oh yes, and it makes sense, but it's so good. And to tack on to what you're saying about the intro, because you get to see different ones. The thing I loved was seeing Harley Quinn in the little pink flippers, just sitting there, just chilling, and I'm like,
awesome.
Yeah, that's Harley Quinn. That's what it is. Have you ever seen Assault on Arkham before?
I haven't seen that one, but
the trailer makes it feel, and the way that the movie, from what I can see, it's looked like it's shaping up to be like Assault on Arkham a lot. Not a negative at all, because Assault on Arkham is a really good DC animated film, but I'm pretty sure there are going to be differences. They're probably just making it seem like that because that's something people are familiar with, because that's what nobody's familiar with.
Another thing too that I noticed, though, they're taking things from the New 52 comics,
and
with their own, and also using aspects from other things that they've been using, and making it their own little flavor, which is something that I really like, because you need something fresh, you need something new. Even the Jared Leto Joker, it's like hashes. They like splice the different Jokers in half. Like, okay, you have the Romero Joker. Then after that, you have the Heath Ledger Joker, and then the Jack Nicholson Joker, and they all mesh it together, and it works perfectly well for this kind of universe that they have created. And I feel like Jared Leto is gonna bring his A game to this and everything, and he's just not milking it. He loves this character, obviously, because of everything that happened on the set, on the Suicide Squad set, where he sent different presents to everybody, pranking them with really bad Christmas gifts.
I'm ashamed of you right now.
And it was just really, really well and everything. I feel like he has passion for this role and everything else. And another thing too is I'm also an admin on the Joker Unleashed page as well, and I help out there from time to time. And I've actually noticed where people are actually talking about Harley Quinn's accent and about how it's not there. My thoughts is this. You saw bits and pieces of a 2-minute trailer or 3-minute trailer, and it's hard to dictate if she has the accent or not.
I didn't notice the hint of Australian, which She's Australian, and I don't
Right.
care.
I don't care either. As long as she has that Mr. J part down and everything. Which, if you watched Wolf of Wall Street, the part where Leonardo DiCaprio's in there, and she just winds up doing this to Leonardo. He winds up going over there. He goes, and Daddy's not going to see any panties for a very, very long time. I'm like, that's Harley Quinn. That's Harley Quinn.
I wouldn't be surprised if David Ayer was watching that scene and is like, I want her. I want her.
Right. Exactly. And like I said, I felt like this trailer was like a lot of fun. It wasn't all that serious like we saw in the other trailer. And plus, we also saw a lot of the effects that were added into this trailer that we didn't see with the last one, because that was a teaser from the Comic-Con trailer.
Yeah.
And whenever you see like a teaser trailer, none of the other effects are even in there all together at all.
The fans won that war.
Right. But this adds in a lot of flavor to the movie and everything else. I don't need to see another trailer. I'm ready for August to get here.
I know.
So
one thing I loved about the trailer was it was cut to the music. The scenes were cut to the music, and I watch a lot of Jeremy Johns and a lot of Chris Stuckman videos, and both of them said this, and they were like, it seems like such a fundamental thing, but so many trailers miss it when they have a song and they don't cut it to the music. And it's a detrimental thing. But Suicide Squad did that, where like every hit was like bum 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 bum, and then you get the Joker for the first reveal of the Joker in this trailer. And I was like, it's clever because you're engaged visually, you're engaged from an audio standpoint, and it all just meshes together, and you feel every hit, and it goes with what's going on with the visuals. I was like,
it's perfectly well executed.
Great.
And another thing, too, is that I didn't realize this until I actually saw a meme of this, where you had the Jack Nicholson Joker, and then you also have the other Joker, and it says, do you want to see, where can I get those toys? And then underneath it, it has Jared Leto, little foreshadowing, going,
I can't wait to show you my toys.
That was awesome. It showed that they're still have a little tip of the hat, so to speak, to the 1989 Batman, which is actually pretty cool.
And then you get, I can't wait to show you my toys. And then it's like, Mamma Mia, Mamma Mia. I was like, yes, yes. Just keep amping it up. And I love how this trailer, like, it started, like, in this really funny note, and it just, like, it had a drive throughout the entire thing that did not let up. And I think most of it is due to Bohemian Rhapsody itself, because that music is just, it ramps up and it ramps up and it ramps up until you get to the Rocky part.
Right. I felt that the same exact emotion as well, because it didn't slow down at all. I was waiting for it to slow down a little bit, but whenever you thought it was going to slow down, it doesn't slow down. It just feels like a
part that actually like stopped, and I know why it did it, was right after you get the bum 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 bum, and it's because Joker's about to show up. And then you get him, and then it just keeps ramping up again.
There was also another part that slowed down, too, was whenever you saw the introduction of Harley Quinn bending over and everything.
Well, I mean, you have to slow down.
Right. Of course. But, yeah, you have that introduction of Harley Quinn, and you actually get to see her little silly side, her dark side, and everything. It's perfect. It was perfectly well executed.
I'm sitting there watching it. I'm like, this is just an excuse. This whole scene is an excuse. I know it. The actors know it. The director knows it, and they're relishing it. And I'm like, oh.
And you see, that's what. Okay, I'm not gonna try and change subjects or anything, but the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle 2 trailer, with the part where you see Megan Fox lifting up her shirt and stuff like that, forget all that, because that felt like it was forced.
Right.
This doesn't feel like it's forced at all. It feels like everything belongs in this universe. Everything was perfectly well executed. They cut this trailer very nice. There's no complaints from me at all from this trailer.
See, if this was Marvel, like that scene, I want to talk about this, because if this was Marvel doing that trailer, you would have had it like a cut of all the rest of the heroes like doing this.
Right.
And then she turns around and she says her line. But I'm like, oh man. And who knows? It may be in the actual movie itself. They just didn't show it. But it kind of would be funny to have all the members like.
Right. Or the Joker going.
When the Joker just shows up, you know, and like in a helicopter with a machine gun. It's like.
But it was just perfectly for me. I mean, seriously, I can't praise this trailer enough.
It did so much right in terms of, and one thing else that I loved about it was it simplified the characters, because these are characters not a lot of people know of, and they're not familiar to the movie-going audience, and they simplified each character in a phrase, and I thought that was extremely well done. When you had Rick Flag talking to Enchantress in her non-Enchantress form, and just kind of explaining everyone, and he even says like, "You get possessed by a witch, and she's just crazy." But I like that because it tells you what you need to know without a lot of, and this is how it happens, and this is how this happens, and you don't need that. Even though I'm pretty sure that a lot of the scenes with Joker are going to be flashback. Most of it's going to revolve around Harley Quinn. But even still, if it does end up going that route, you did it in a trailer so that everybody that sees the trailer can get excited for the movie and get excited for the characters. Now they know, okay, this is kind of what they are. This is who they are. This is, you know, what their power set is. And cool, let's do it. You don't need a lot of explanation, and I like that.
Right. Another thing, too, though, is the Will Smith Deadshot thing. At first, I was like, whenever I first saw the trailer for the teaser from Comic-Con, I'm like, okay, Will Smith is just playing himself. There's no change here. Then all of a sudden, the Bohemian Rhapsody trailer, I'm like, he's Deadshot. He's Deadshot.
Yeah.
I'm sold. I said, pick me up in an auction, put down your gavel, I'm sold. That's it.
I actually liked Will Smith in this. I thought, again, I had the same feeling from the Comic-Con trailer that it was going to be, okay, it's just Will Smith playing Will Smith who shoots guns. But then I saw in that same trailer him with the mask on, and I'm like, he's probably not going to wear the mask for too long, but I like the mask. And then in this trailer, it was just like, okay, all right, you can be Deadshot. I like it. And I think he's gonna. I mean, he's a good actor. So
the only thing
if he has a good script to go off of, I think he'll do a good job.
Right. And the only thing that I have against him is he likes to steal spotlights from other people.
Yeah.
And he wants to be the main person. But it's hard to do that when you have several people in one movie. So therefore, his light is not going to shine just on him. It's going to shine on everybody.
The funny thing is, he gets first billing in the movie, because if you look at the title card at the end of the movie, he gets first billing before Margot Robbie, before Jared Leto. And I'm like, oh, please, you get. There's no way Deadshot's going to get first billing next to the Joker and Harley Quinn. That doesn't happen. Maybe you get it money-wise, but in the movie, it's not going to happen, bro.
But anyways, is there anything more you want to add to this?
I mean, we could be talking about this forever.
I can't I mean, we could go a full 3 hours.
I know. But like, I will say this, and I did compare it to Guardians of the Galaxy. The thing that Guardians of the Galaxy, the reason why it's different, and a lot of people are like, oh, this is just like Guardians. I love Guardians, and I love Marvel more than DC, but I can admit when DC does something right, and they don't do it often, but when they do, it looks good. And what I love about the trailer is, and the differences between Guardians of the Galaxy, is that these are straight up villains, whereas Guardians of the Galaxy, they were anti-heroes, and you knew, yeah, they did bad things, but they're heroes at the end of the day. These are just jerks, and they're bad. So in that, there is a difference because there's a lot more of a fight between, like, I think Harley Quinn summed it up perfectly at the end of the trailer. It's bad guys. We're bad guys. It's what we do. And it's unlike Guardians in that respect, because Guardians, yes, they do bad things, but they are good at the end of the day.
Right.
Not Suicide Squad. They are bad. And I'm looking for a lot of double crossing, a lot of just bad crap to go down between these characters, because it should. This is not, anti-heroes who, yeah, we find a good cause, let's get behind it. No, these are people that are out for their own gain. And I think it's going to be really fun.
you also know at the end of the movie, she's going to double cross the team to go with Joker anyways. So
Yeah.
this has always been my speculation. They're going after the Joker, of course, but I think it's Harley Quinn that's leading them.
The only thing that this trailer, and I'm still debating on who I think they're going to go up against. I don't think it's Joker. I think because if you remember in the trailer, there's like these weird looking creatures. Like they're in there very briefly, and you saw them. I remember seeing some pictures from production on the set of these like weird looking alien creatures, and I'm like, does Enchantress create these things? Do they come out of Krypton? Do they come out of somewhere else? But they are definitely fighting these other creatures. Now, whether or not who creates them, where they come from, is the mystery. Because we know that, from what I heard, the witch that possesses Cara Delevingne's character to become Enchantress is trying to release her brother, or like trying to resurrect her brother. So if that's the case, and Delevingne's character is the one they're going after, she may end up double crossing them and like laying waste to most of them or something. Something bad's going to go down. I just don't know who they're up against really in the movie. Another
thing I want to point out on that you talked about just now was the fact that how you said that they didn't need no origin or anything like that to tell a movie. Guardians of the Galaxy did the same exact thing. They didn't tell no origin story.
Yeah.
They did all their origin story through the background of the characters telling them what they're about. So basically, there went the origin.
And they hinted at it.
Right.
They didn't give you a flashback of, oh, here's Rocket Raccoon being operated. Like, I love that, because you have that bar scene where Rocket Raccoon's like, you have no idea what it's like to get pulled apart and put back together again over and over again. I was like, that's how you do that's how you do it. That's how you do story really quickly, hinting at it without, and this happened, and this happened, and this happened, and
right.
this happened. And it's turning into exposition fest.
Right. I agree with you on
that. So I think, as far as the trailer goes, Suicide Squad's going to do the same thing. Not to compare, for all of you nut jobs out there that think, oh, they're copying Marvel. You kind of have to, because they're kind of the pioneers of this whole universe thing. So deal with it. We're getting good movies from both camps for once. We're going to get, like 30 movies between the two properties in the next 5 years?
Right.
So be happy.
And
we're getting Deadpool next month. Be happy.
Right. Another thing too is we're not just DC or Marvel fanboys. We love both. We love both camps. We're not.
I even like Dark Horse comics. What the heck?
Right. I like Dark Horse and Image comics. So I mean, But anyways, that put aside and everything, the trailer is like a 5 out of 5 knockout for me as far as things went.
Yeah.
Another thing too was, this is not involving the trailer or anything, but Kevin Smith got on TV, had like maybe an hour-long special just to break down each character, so the way you can get a little bit of an idea of what what DC is doing. Sorry, I didn't mean to say Marvel.
What Marvel is doing, we know what's going on over there.
Anyways, you know what's going on with DC. So, anyways, this is what I like about the fact that, you get a background of what Wonder Woman is about, and get this, not many people read comics anymore. So therefore, they have to do something like Captain America and everything to introduce Wonder Woman, because not everybody reads comics, and I cannot stand the word masses. They have to entertain the masses. No, they have to try and gain the audience to be able to believe that this person's Wonder Woman, and actually give them a perfectly good story so that way they can actually follow along with it, and to actually try and incorporate Wonder Woman, because we never saw her on the screen before. So therefore, nobody knows anything about her. And I'm going to be honest, I never read any Wonder Woman comics, so I don't know that much about her. So just getting a little bit of a flavor to her was just good enough for me. So that's the way I feel about Wonder Woman being on the screen and actually having a little bio from Kevin Smith. And I think it was a good idea for them to do this, to be able to give us a little bit of flavor, not a lot, just enough to put a little taste in our mouth about what they're doing.
I'm going to give a disclaimer, and I want you all watching to listen closely. I have read probably 2 comics in my lifetime. So all of you now can go, give us Barabbas, give us Barabbas. But it's not going to happen because guess what? I'm just as much a fan as everybody out there. I just do my research online instead of reading the comics. Whether that makes me less of a fan, I don't think so, because I love it and I stick up for my characters. The characters I love. I love Batman. I love Thor. I love Deadpool. I love them all. So deal with it. But like you're saying, you have to introduce it to not just the masses. I think if you introduce it to the fan base, and the fan base is huge, even people that don't read comics know who these people are. Like me, I have never read a Wonder Woman comic. I have never read a Superman comic. I've read a Batman comic before. I've read an Avengers comic before. But I've never read their specific character comics. Does that make me less of a fan? No, I know them. But the success of the movies, as far as comics is concerned, comic book movies, is if you make a movie for the fan base will get you the other people to come in because they'll be like, oh, this is a good movie. You're going to like it. Come and watch it. And you're going to get a bunch of people coming in and watching these movies.
Another thing, too, is, though, with the fan base, you have to incorporate for both. You have to incorporate for the non-fan base and the...
Right. But at the same time, like, you don't have to be like exposition fairy. Oh, here's exposition. Over the whole thing. You can just, like Suicide Squad did. Simple explanation. Like Guardians did. Simple explanation. Like Avengers 1 did, bringing the whole team together for the first time. Simple explanation. And even then, I mean, Marvel had individual movies leading up to that, which kind of explained origins, but they didn't spend the whole time of narration. And this is what happened between the age of... Blah, 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 blah. Nobody needs that. Nobody wants that. That's like reading a book. No, it's a movie. So you can do that without causing people to go to sleep after the 10-minute mark, because all you're doing is, oh, and Thor's from Asgard. Here's what Asgard is, and here's what all the 9 realms are. And it would get completely ridiculous and boring, and people would want to walk out. That's why I remember when Thor originally came out, people were like, is this going to work? Because it's the first cosmic hero, and there's a lot of stuff we don't understand. And I thought that Kenneth Branagh and the writers did a beautiful job with making all the information stuff. I love how they had Jane Foster, and I liked her better in Thor 1 and Thor 2 because she was our connection. She was us in that movie, and you had to explain everything to her, so we got the explanation, but it wasn't overly like, and so Jane, here's what this is, and here's what Yggdrasil is, and here's what this is, and you didn't get that. It was all, this is what the 9 realms are. Here's what magic to you is like science to us. Cool. Right. We're in. Now go twirl the hammer and kill some people. Let's go. So you don't need a long blah, 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 blah session.
Right.
In order for people that have never read the comics to understand what's going on. I think Suicide Squad did it well. I think Marvel is doing it well, incorporating characters that we've never heard of before for most people, like the Guardians. Who had heard of the Guardians before the movie? And now it's one of the most popular Marvel movies out there. That people are humming the tunes, people are quoting it up a storm, and they know who the characters are because they did it well. And I think if any comic book movie does it well, you don't need to be like, oh, am I doing enough fan service? Oh, am I making it good enough for the masses? You don't need that. So I think that's the secret to the success of comic book movies.
Right. Let's see here. Another thing they talked about was Aquaman.
Yes.
As well. And I love the story of Aquaman. Just the way that they gave us the foundation from the New 52, which I read the New 52. The New 52 Aquaman would kick the 1950s or 60s Aquaman's butt. Yeah. All the jokes about Aquaman are out the window. I'm guilty. I made a bunch of jokes about Aquaman. Now Jason Momoa is probably going to kill me. But I think that he's going to be perfect as Aquaman. At first, there was rumors that he was going to be Lobo, and I was like, okay, that could work because
he could play both to really well.
Right. But I think he works perfect as Aquaman, just simply because of the origin and because of the way that they're using him for that universe that they're trying to create around him. It's going to be awesome.
I know this isn't this is a few years down the road, but I really want to see, at least for Justice League Part 2, I want to see Martian Manhunter. He was, for me, because I grew up on the Justice League cartoon, and he was one of those, like, really stoic, like, and I am and I am higher than you, and I am superior, but he wasn't like Superman in that he was trying to relate to the humans, because Superman and Clark Kent are one of the same.
To me, he was kind of like the Vision of the DC universe in a way.
Perfect. That's perfect. That's what he is. And it's funny, he even has the same power set.
Right. So that's what I got
Let's
out of.
see. Did I just discover a secret there? Anyway. But it's true. He is the Vision of the DC universe in a way. And don't hang me for this, people. But and I like that, because you need a character that's like Thor. Thor in Avengers 1, he was like that. In Avengers 2, I think he got a little bit more personable. But in Avengers 1, he was that, like, I am from Asgard, and this is who I am,
Like, how do my Asian being belong with these humans?
Right, but you kind of need that, because it's funny, and it creates a different perspective than just human beings who have been on Earth. You create that perspective of, this is an outsider, but he's a powerful outsider, and so we have to respect him. So I'm really wanting Martian Manhunter to be in the next one. Now, I have my people that I think should be cast. Idris Elba, for one, if he ends his whole deal as Heimdall in Thor. I think he could be a good Martian Manhunter. Michael J. White, I think, could be a good Martian Manhunter. I don't know. There's a few people.
If you think about it, though, anybody can be a good Martian Manhunter.
Well, no, I'm thinking about the voice.
Okay, the voice. Because I was going to say CGI and everything.
Yeah.
But I like those.
Somebody with a good voice. Like, probably not Morgan Freeman, but no, I mean, but he has a good voice. I just don't think it's for that character. But somebody with like Idris Elba, I think, would have a good Martian Manhunter voice. Like, I could get behind him being Martian Manhunter and believe it. And I think he has the presence so that he can play it as a motion capture character, like they do Davy Jones, or they did, like the Hulk, playing off of an actual environment. But I think a lot of people could play him and play him well. I just would like to see him join the Justice League at some point.
Right. Another thing, too, was the Flash. They showed things of the Flash. Of course, we already know about the Flash and everything because of the fact that because of the TV show and everything. And we also know that we're also going to get a new actor playing the Flash and everything, which I'm okay with because of the fact that if you put an actor that's on the TV and put them on the big screen, some people are going to get confused with that and be like, is this going to incorporate what's on the screen onto the TV, or what's going on here?
Flash brings an interesting thing to my mind, which I thought about the other day. They could be very well leading up to a Crisis on Infinite Earths in the future, because you have the different iterations of some of these characters, because you have the TV universe and the movie universe, and you can really do something grand with that separation, because nobody's expecting to come for anything to come together and play together on both fronts. But I think if they do it right, it could lead up to this really massive thing and do a Crisis of Infinite Earths or something of that magnitude really well on the big screen, like 10 years down the road.
Exactly. But like I said, I feel like, they don't need to have that shared universe with the TV or anything like that too. because whatever you do on the TV universe, you also have to incorporate with the movie universe, and then whatever the movie universe does, they have to incorporate what's going on with on the TV as well, and then they have to force dialogue.
What I'm trying to figure out is, where does Gotham fit into the TV universe?
It doesn't
Oh,
fit
it doesn't?
in. Gotham has its own thing.
Okay, that's what because I know that Arrow and Flash fit together, and obviously Legends of Tomorrow fit together with both of those. But Gotham's kind of like its own island in the TV universe, because it's funny. I was thinking about it. I'm like, if they could have set this in the 80s, it could have been the Nolan-verse Batmans as a kid, which would have worked out nicely, because you don't see Rachel Dawes at all, but that's fine. You don't need her introduction just yet. But it doesn't even look like they're doing that, because he's set in modern time, because, you know, everything around him is modern. So it's like, I wonder where Gotham fits into all this, because I know they're trying to do Smallville where he suits up as Batman at the end, but it's like, okay, cool. I like it, but, you know. So,
Right.
I don't know.
But yeah, they don't go together at all. They have their own thing, and they don't even share the same world with the CW network at all. So
That's true, because it's on Fox. What am I talking about? Yeah.
Right. But even though, I mean, it's not going to even incorporate anything with the DC anyways, because they don't even incorporate anything.
That's kind of weird. You just popped into my head. It's kind of weird because you have Fox, which is what owns X-Men, Fantastic Four,
right,
airing Gotham. Then it's like, how does this make any sense?
Whoever's doing the Gotham stuff is doing an excellent job.
Oh yeah.
And you know, they need those people behind the people that did the Fantastic Crap movie.
Craptastic Four.
Right. That's better terms. But yeah. Because that movie just was horrible, but that's another story. We're talking about DC, not Marvel. So,
I'm just hoping that, as far as that's concerned, I'm hoping that it turns into a Sony and Marvel situation where they either trade something in between them, or they work out a joint venture to where, because I don't care about the Fantastic Four as much as I care about Kang the Conqueror, Galactus, and Silver Surfer getting into the MCU. I just care about the villains of the Fantastic Four, because they're so good, and especially Galactus, because you need something massive after Thanos gets dealt with, for the next thing to build up to. And I'm like, hey, Galactus, need it. But we'll see. We'll see what they do.
Let's stay on target a little bit.
Yeah, I know. See, I like Marvel.
And now you're gonna get the DC people. I told you he liked Marvel. He doesn't like DC. What did I tell you? But another thing is the Batman versus Superman clips that we got from the last Batman versus Superman.
And the confrontation one where he just rips the thing off of the Batmobile, and then that whole conversation, I was like, Superman came to play, and he's not joking.
And then my favorite part, though, is like Bruce is over there talking smack to the guy who just ripped off his whole entire Batmobile.
No, not just ripped off the hood, but like just completely messed it up after it hit him.
Right.
The Batmobile just hit Superman and just bounced off him like a ping pong game.
Right. My favorite thing was this. After he flies off, he goes, "Do you bleed? You will." And I'm like, oh my God, I have goosebumps. I'm like, this. I was like, I know you just didn't talk smack to him. It'd be funny if Clark comes back over there and goes, "I heard you," and fly off.
I'd be like, your knife better be made out of kryptonite, man.
Right. But yeah, I thought that was perfectly well executed. I had goosebumps from watching that one part.
Here's the thing: if Warner Brothers would just put the Batman versus Superman stuff as their marketing and leave the Justice League stuff, the bigger universe building stuff, out of their marketing, it would be extremely successful. Because It's so good, and the promise of seeing Batman and Superman clash on screen is enough to bring people in. You don't need, oh, by the way, we're going to put in the Justice League at the end of the movie, and by the way, Doomsday's going to look like a Ninja Turtle, but he's going to be in the movie. And by the way, Darkseid might also be in the movie, but we're just going to rumor that because we're Warner Bros. I don't like that. Just give us
that was
Batman
the complaint that I had with that last trailer, because they gave away way too much.
Did you see the fan edit for that trailer?
Was that? Yeah, I did.
The fan edit was so much better. I'm like, all you need, tease it. Be like Jaws. Don't be like Michael Bay. Be like Jaws.
And to me,
everything.
We didn't need to have. We already know that these people are going to end up shaking hands in the end, and they're going to form the Justice League.
Right.
We didn't need to see that. We didn't need to see that part.
I didn't mind that because, I mean, you know what's going to happen, so I didn't. But you don't know how it's going to happen. But then when you show Doomsday, then you figure it out, and it's like
they didn't have to show Doomsday, and they didn't have to.
That whole trailer was pretty much a 3-minute cut of the entire movie.
Pretty much, but don't forget it's a 2.5-hour movie, so a lot can happen in 2.5 hours.
Well, I know that, but I feel like those are, and unless they're completely going and throwing us a curveball here, that felt like if you condensed a 2.5-hour movie into 3 minutes with only the major beats, that's it right there.
I'm hoping they actually cut that out of the movie and go, ha ha. You know, I'm just hoping that they throw that out and be like,
have you ever seen Emperor's New Groove? Have you ever seen Emperor's New Groove?
Yeah.
I was just thinking about this. Have Deadpool come in like Cusco does midway through the movie. Be like, by the way, guys, this thing that you saw in the trailer, not going to happen. And go. And just keep moving on.
Or you have Deadpool interrupting DC. Just, excuse me, boys and girls. Just want to let you know that everything that you saw in this trailer is complete crap. It's not true. By the way, enjoy your movie.
And then he comes out at the end of the. He comes out like right before the trailer. It's like, you see all those fans out there? I'm glad they brought their brown pants. Cut to credits.
And then we have Ben Affleck possibly directing a Batman trilogy.
I don't mind that.
No, and this is why I don't mind it. Look at Argo. Look at The Town.
Exactly.
Look at those movies. And then not only that, but Zack Snyder also said this. He said because of Ben and everything, it's turning him into a better director.
Yeah.
So that makes me feel good that Ben is actually teaching a director something, because we already know how Sucker Punch was. And I like Sucker Punch. It had great CGI and everything, but it wasn't even that great of a movie. But the thought of Ben Affleck teaching him how to better himself is even better for me. Works even better for me.
I think that the argument that people use against Ben Affleck is moot at this point. Like the Daredevil argument.
Right.
This was like 20 years ago.
Right.
The guy learned. The guy's better at his craft now. It's been 15, 20 years. Let it go.
Well, there's also another thing, too, that I feel is this. People who hate on Ben Affleck just wants to hate on Ben Affleck. They don't want to cut the guy any slack. They just want to go and say, remember Daredevil? Yeah, you suck.
It's like the same people that give Ryan Reynolds crap because of Wolverine. You know, he didn't write Wolverine. He was not responsible. He just got put in the movie. And guess what? After you have a contract, you have to shoot the movie.
Well,
even though it was crap.
But it's also dealing with the script and the way that it's laid out. So he
was but I'm saying that it has nothing to do with Ryan Reynolds.
Right, it doesn't. It doesn't at all. Same thing with Daredevil. You can have the best actors in a movie, for example.
The funny thing is, if you go to Daredevil and you look at who wrote it, these are the same people that wrote Ghost Rider. This is the same people that wrote Elektra. This is the same people that wrote, I can't remember, there was another movie that was just terrible. And it was a movie, and I can't remember what it was. But they wrote like stuff like Ghost Rider and Elektra, and I'm like, you're really gonna blame Ben Affleck for this? Look at the evidence.
Well, another thing too is look at Spider-Man and everything as well. I mean, everybody's blaming Tobey Maguire for everything too,
That
and I'm like,
Spider-Man was a good movie.
well, the third one, but still,
Oh,
but still, what is he? Okay, let's use this for an example. Okay, you have the best lineup of actors. You have Leonardo DiCaprio. You have Catherine Zeta-Jones. You have Ben Affleck. You have the best crew. You have the best actors and actresses that money could buy. You get a script. They're portraying what's on the script and trying to develop these characters. But it's not. But that's not their fault if the script is bad. You can have the best actors, but you also have to have the best script as well to let these actors actually follow what they need to follow. Without that, the movie's going to fall apart. It doesn't matter who's the strongest one, who's trying to make this movie work. The bottom line is not going to work because of the fact that the script is bad.
it's funny you mentioned Spider-Man 3, and I just want to just say something here for the sake of that movie. If you were to cut out everything having to do with the symbiote, all of the problems in the movie would be fixed.
Well, another thing too is that dance at that nightclub.
No, but it's a lead-in. That whole scene is to lead into him getting the symbiote on. So it has to do with the symbiote. So if you cut everything related to Venom in that movie, all the problems would be solved, and the movie would have been excellent. And you know what I would have done? See, I want. Here's me. I want to go back and recut that film myself. Like, no. Take what we have and switch some stuff around, because I think that it would be more effective to have the whole movie go and then have the bedroom scene where the symbiote gets on him at the very end of the movie.
And then let it be Spider-Man.
And then cut to black. And then, like, you have him, like, oh, wow. And then just swing. And then that's cut to credits. That would have been a more effective movie. To have the whole movie go on, have it be around the new Goblin and Sandman, and then have, Peter come, or, have the whole story arc with the new Goblin, where he loses memory, then he comes back and helps him fight Sandman. Cut all of Venom out of this movie, because Venom was just a ploy by the executives at Sony because they wanted Venom in the movie, and Sam Raimi didn't want him, and so that's what we got. But everything that has to do with Venom, if they cut that out, it would be an excellent movie.
Right. But as for Ben Affleck, though, with everything, too, I feel like he's going to be great. I mean, there's nothing to say bad. I can't say anything bad about Ben Affleck. And that also includes about how he was in Gone Girl. He directed Gone Baby Gone. He directed, like I said before, Argo.
Yeah.
And then he directed The Town. You have these movies that are actually topped each other. And I'm going to admit this right now. I didn't care for Ben Affleck when he was first starting out. Because I'm like, okay, he's going to be one of those actors that are just me throwaways or whatever. And then all of a sudden he comes out with Argo, and that did a whole entire 360 on me. Because now I'm like, okay, this guy can act, he can direct, and this guy's even writing the new Batman thing, I think. So, I'm all for it.
It's an unfair criticism to say because he was in Daredevil and because he was associated with Daredevil, then all of a sudden he's a bad person in filmmaking as a whole. It's such a bad argument that people throw out there, because one, he acted in it. He's not responsible for what went into the script. Two, he's obviously grown, because if you look at all the stuff, like you said, like Argo, like Gone Girl, he is definitely improved in screenwriting and directing and acting. He's so much better now. It's like you going back and looking at George Clooney and saying, oh, because George Clooney was in Batman and Robin, all of his work stinks. It doesn't make any sense. Oh, that was it. That was the other movie. The people that wrote Daredevil wrote Batman and Robin.
Oh, boy. That explains it. Joe Shoemaker.
That's ice.
Yeah. How about some ice?
Yeah.
That was like a horrible line. From
The whole movie's made out of puns. All the dialogue are ice puns.
Right. I hated it. It was really bad.
But you see it's funny how they're all correlated together.
Right.
And it's funny, I think the same people wrote Green Lantern. So what you need to do is, instead of faulting Ryan Reynolds, instead of faulting George Clooney, instead of faulting Ben Affleck, do not give these writers any more jobs.
Exactly. But they keep on giving them jobs. Like, well, maybe if you keep on giving them jobs, maybe they'll get better. But instead, you're making them worse.
Okay, fine. Give them more jobs, but bring in other writers to smooth them out. Yeah, right. Because obviously that combination of whoever all those three guys are, but I know it's the same three guys, it ain't working.
Right. Another thing is with Green Lantern, I did not like him having to fight a mushroom cloud.
Yeah, they Fantastic Four'd it.
Right. That whole entire ending was anticlimactic. It didn't add anything to anything, and it wasn't Ryan Reynolds' fault at all.
I mean, it would have been better if they would have done this. Hi, I'm Parallax. Yes, I'm a stapler, but yes, I'm Parallax. That would have been better. That honestly would have been better than I'm a cloud. It's so ridiculous. But right. It's the writing. It's always the writing. And here's the thing. Sometimes, yes, sometimes a good actor can make up for bad writing. But don't fault the actors for bad writing. Right. The actors can only do so much. Now, let me give you a good example of this. Heath Ledger. May he rest in peace. The anniversary of his death is today, actually. But think about this. Knight's Tale. It's a fun movie, but it's not a particularly good film. Okay. Apparently I live in Bel Rev. But you look at him in Knight's Tale. He wasn't that good.
No.
He was okay. But then when he was announced as Joker, everybody's like, you can't have him because he was on Knight's Tale and he was not good and the movie was not good. And look what happened. Because you have a good writer. You had Jonathan Nolan, his brother Chris Nolan, making the best comic book movie in the history. And look at what they did to Heath Ledger.
Well, another thing, too, is Heath Ledger also came off on an Academy Award-winning movie, which is Brokeback Mountain. He was an Academy Award-winning actor.
Right.
But he had a few hit and misses.
Right.
But everybody kept on saying, you mean the guy from 10 Things I Hate About You is going to be the Joker?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. But again, it's you cannot judge an actor just on bad roles.
Right.
And I'm not saying Knight's Tale is bad. I actually love Knight's Tale. But you can't make the correlation because, of course, there's no way to correlate Knight's Tale with Joker.
Well, another thing, too, is that that did it for me at the movies. I was kind of like, okay, this is interesting. I'm not gonna judge it. I'm just gonna see what it's like. All of a sudden, I see this huge poster of Heath Ledger as the Joker with the gun in his hand. I was like, I want that poster.
I remember the first the first poster that I saw. It was the glass with the smile and the eyes, and I was like, yes. I remember my mom was scared to go see that movie. And this was 8 years ago, so I was what? I must have been 9 years old, probably. Just about. No, what 9 years old? What am I talking about? I am so bad at math. I must have been 10, 11, 12, just about. Yeah, around there. So my mom's like, I don't want to go see the movie because Joker's creepy as crap. And I'm like,
I like it.
Oh, I'm going. She ended up loving it because, yeah, it's creepy, but it's it's good, and it was a good character. And I
Matter of
mean,
fact, that's so
it was
good. I
awesome.
saw it twice.
What is it?
I saw the movie twice in theaters. First time I saw it with a group of friends, and then the second time I saw it with the girl I was dating, and I managed to get free tickets because I knew the person who was working the thing. So
Nice.
she's like, "Do you want to? What movie are you gonna go see? The Dark Knight?" Cha-ching! I'm like,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah.
Score.
Mm-hmm. It was such a good movie. But again, it's like I said, but that was a good character with good writing.
Right.
Like with Deadpool now, the new Deadpool, the good Deadpool, not the atrocity. It's going to be good.
It's gonna be
You know how it's gonna be good? Because the fans.
We said so.
The fans were the reason that this movie's getting made in the first place.
Right.
Because they did what they did. I don't know who leaked it, but somebody leaked it. And look at all the popularity.
Right.
He obviously knows what he's doing. The writers of the movie said that it was the best script they'd ever written. So I'm like, make this movie already. And I'm glad they are. So, I mean, I will hold judgment on Ryan Reynolds until I see Deadpool. And I'm pretty sure that after I see Deadpool, it's going to be like...
Well, another movie that you need to see, though, is with Ryan Reynolds, is Buried.
What is it? Buried? Oh, I want to see that.
And
I need to see that.
Time, Ryan Reynolds is in a box. And
I heard, yeah.
Coffin the whole entire time. And it's just him carrying the movie by himself. So therefore, you can see where his acting ability is.
Nice.
I'm sold as Deadpool. I'm sold him. He's Deadpool from now on.
Yeah.
He's not Ryan Reynolds.
And the funny thing is, I was noticing this the other day. The reason why, for example, Robert Downey Jr. works as Tony Stark, the reason why Ryan Reynolds works as the new Deadpool, the real Deadpool, is because they're essentially playing themselves.
That's true.
They really are, because you look at Tony Stark and you look at Robert Downey Jr., they're exactly the same. They're both turds. They're both really funny and, with good comedic sensibility.
Right.
And it just works. Like with Ryan Reynolds, he's a funny guy. You give him a little bit of superpowers and you call him Deadpool. But they're pretty much playing themselves. And I think those are the best characters where you can add a little flair yourself because it makes it genuine. It makes it real. And you're not putting on an act of, okay, I have to be this guy. Or no, this is you. And that's why I think the Robert Downey Jr. gets paid so much money by Marvel, because they know he's good.
Right. But I said this one time in a comment too. I said, Ryan Reynolds is no longer Ryan Reynolds. Deadpool killed Ryan Reynolds, and Deadpool is Deadpool.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So that's just my thoughts on this whole entire thing, though.
Yeah.
But is there anything else that you want to add to anything else, or?
No, I just want to say this. It's kind of funny because apparently Marvel was doing something for Captain America's 75th anniversary. I still haven't seen anything for it. I haven't heard anything about it because DC came to play on that same Tuesday, and it was awesome. I don't even think Marvel. I don't even think they released anything new. They were just they're given a history of Captain America, because I didn't even see the either or. I was just getting stuff online as it came.
Right.
So
well,
all I saw was DC stuff.
Right. Another thing too was that I thought that was pretty funny. You didn't hear nothing from the Marvel camp other than this. This is Marvel flexing their muscles and going, you know how we're gonna beat Batman versus Superman? We're gonna give them Daredevil season 2. That'll show them. I'm like, what does that do? We can watch Daredevil season 2.
I like that and I like that they, at the end of the day, they ended up pushing it a week forward.
Right.
But here's the thing: as far as the whole war between DC and Marvel goes, DC does not have a proven track record yet. Marvel does.
Right.
Now, DC doesn't have nearly as many movies as Marvel in their new DCEU. Marvel is now, 20 movies in?
about that. They're into six
And
phases.
they've had hits and misses.
Right, but not as many as misses as there are hits now. But before and everything,
Right.
when they were
But it's unfair to compare the two, because right now the only movies you have in the DCEU are Man of Steel and Green Lantern, which they have erased from their memory, and it's not really DCEU anymore.
well,
So
technically, you can actually say this. The only thing that they have right now is just Man of Steel.
right.
It's just
So you can't really judge at this point. And it's like I said earlier, we're getting 20 movies in 5 years. Enjoy it, because we'll never see this again.
Right.
We're getting all three studios, Fox, Marvel Studios, and Warner Brothers, giving us quality movies. And guess what? Competition breeds betterment. And they'll give us better movies. Why? Because now there are three studios in the game after the same thing. Money, money, money. And we're not going to give them money unless they turn out quality products.
Right.
So go watch movies, go enjoy them, make more, but make them war against one another, because we'll end up winning in the end for this reason. If we show them that we like competition, they'll keep competing, and competition will make better movies and make better movies and make better movies, and it's not going to stop.
No, it's not going to slow down. It's just going to explode.
Let's just enjoy it. Let's take it in, inhale it. Just sit there and just breathe it in. Breathe it deeply for the next 5 years, because it's going to be great. I mean, when did you ever think you were going to get a Suicide Squad movie? When did you ever think you were going to get a Black Panther movie, a Doctor Strange movie, a movie that centers on the Infinity War storyline? When did you ever think that we're going to get any of that? And we're finally getting it. We're getting a rated R Deadpool. And I don't like that it's rated R, but we're getting a Deadpool that is honest to the character. We're getting everything that is honest to the characters. And just enjoy it.
Right. Sit back, chillax, get your popcorn, and put up your feet, because we're in for one heck of a ride.
Just wash away all of the bad flavor from Fantastic Four, the crappy movie, with Deadpool, with Batman vs Superman, with Civil War, with Doctor Strange, and with the rest 15 other movies that we're going to be getting in the next 5 years. Because it's going to be fun.
Exactly. It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be fun.
But, so, is there anything else that you need to add to anything else, or do you feel like we covered everything that...
No, but I needed to get that off my chest, because I've had it up to here with people arguing, oh, DC is the best, oh, Marvel's the best, oh, this and that.
But I'm like the rainbow. I'm like, unite.
Just shut up and enjoy it.
Right. I'm pretty much like, get this, I'm pretty much the rainbow. I'm pretty much like, unite. I like both. You know what I mean? I'm like, I like both. Shut up. No, studios are not hating each other. One studio wants to...
As long as it's a quality film, enjoy it for what it is. If it's not a quality film, then let's hear it, because guess what? We like criticism too, when the criticism is earned.
Well, another thing too is this. These studios are not going to say, I hope that DC fails. I hope Marvel fails. No. Both studios want to do great. They don't want the other to fail, because if one of them fails, there's going to be like, oh no, what are we going to do? Because now we're going to lose our fan base that we had for these other movies. So now
it's like this. And it's funny. You can almost make the comparison between Marvel and DC. You can almost compare them to iPhone and Apple and Samsung. For this reason, here's what I mean. Marvel is like Samsung, because they always come out with stuff first. It may not always be that good, because Thor 2, Iron Man 2, ironically, it's all sequels. But we're getting, and they're pioneering this thing. Now DC could be likened to iPhone, because now they've seen it. The pioneers have been there. They've done it. Now they get to improve on that and give us a good product.
Right.
Who's better than the other? That's a whole nother debate, whether it's Android or iPhone or whatever. But
It's all according to the
they're there and they're competing because monopoly, the only thing it breeds is laziness.
Right.
So,
well, I think
this
that's
has
pretty
been a
much a
good
wrap.
discussion. Got a lot off my chest.
I'm glad you did.
And now I can exhale. Okay.
But anyways, I think this is pretty much a wrap for this segment. And I hope everybody enjoyed it. And if you like Movie Lovers and TV Lovers Unite, make sure you check us out on Facebook. Another thing, too, is make sure you subscribe down there below. Yeah, right there, right below. And hit the like button. And tell us what you think. It doesn't matter what we think. It's matter what you think. Do you think we're crazy? Are we crazy boys who don't know what we're talking about?
I mean, I already know I'm crazy, but so, I mean, that's beside the point.
But anyways, just tell us what you think about this. And another thing is, check out Roberto's channel as well, the movie channel.
Put a link on the description to my channel. That way they can check it out too. Because I did that on mine, the one we did the other day. I put a little I put it to the Facebook page, a link. So do that. And I mean, I'm on Movie Lovers too. I'm one of the admins. So.
Right. Right. Also one of the admins on the Movie Lovers page as well. Like he said, the link will be in the description below, and on his channel. And I hope you guys enjoy his channel just as much as you like my channel. And until next time, bye bye.
See ya.